Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Tech Quest Learning Point. I hope you all are doing great. I am Bashar. This is the fourth episode of AZ900 Azure Fundamentals series. Last episode I discussed about the cloud service types. The link of the previous tutorial cloud service types is given in the description box. You can watch that tutorial if required. Today I am going to start a discussion on the introduction to Azure Fundamentals that introduces you to the basics of cloud computing and Azure and how to get started with Azure subscriptions and accounts. The description includes Azure services, Azure offer, Azure accounts, subscription, resources group, cloud model. I have tried to make clear the Azure fundamentals, so I request you all to watch the full tutorial so that you get a concept about Azure fundamentals. The ultimate target of this tutorial is to make you prepared for the exam AZ900 Microsoft Azure Fundamentals. If anyone want to be the Microsoft Certified Azure Fundamentals, this tutorial will be the right choice for them to make clear the exam AZ900 Microsoft Azure Fundamentals because I followed the Microsoft Learning Path for Azure Fundamentals exam. Before starting the discussion, I want to talk about content of this tutorial. In this tutorial, you will take entry-level end-to-end look at Azure and its capabilities. You will gain a solid foundation for computing the full series of tutorial for Azure Fundamentals. You will get to understand some of the core cloud computing concepts and what some of the advantages of computing are, and you will also be introduced to the cloud service model. Now, this tutorial will also introduce you to Microsoft's cloud computing offerings, which is Microsoft Azure. On completion of this tutorial, you will have a great foundational knowledge to build on your cloud computing journey. Now, question is that what is Azure Fundamentals? Azure Fundamentals is nothing but a term that familiarizes you to Azure and its many services and features. We already know that Azure is a name of the cloud computing platform which is provided by Microsoft. Whether you are interested in Azure's core compute, network storage and database services, learning about cloud security best practices or exploring the cutting edge in IoT and machine learning, think of Azure Fundamentals as your curated guide to Azure. Full series of Azure Fundamentals tutorial includes interactive exercises that give you hands-on experience with Azure. Many exercises provide a temporary Azure environment called the sandbox, which allows you to learn for free and at your own pace. The cloud computing is defined as a platform or system where computing services can be delivered over the internet, which is otherwise known as the cloud. These services include services, storage, databases, networking, software, analytics, and intelligence. Cloud computing offers faster innovation, flexible resources, and economies of scale. Cloud computing is the delivery of computing services over the internet by using a pay-as-you-go pricing model. You typically pay only for the cloud services you use, which helps you lower your operating cost, run your infrastructure more efficiently, scale as your business needs changes. To put it another way, cloud computing is a way to rent compute power and storage from someone else's data center. You can treat cloud resources like you would resources in your own data center. When are done using them, you give them back. You are built only for what you use. In simply, as per your requirement, you can use any services over the internet from a data center that provided by a third-party vendor, and you will pay only for what you use. You don't need to maintain CPUs and storage in your data center. You rent them for the time and that you need them. The cloud provider takes care of maintaining the underlying infrastructure for you. The cloud enables you to quickly solve your toughest business challenges and bring cutting edge solutions to your users. In order to meet the current and future business challenges for your organization, you can rely on Azure because Azure is a continually expanding set of cloud services for your business requirement. Azure gives you the freedom to build, manage, and deploy applications on a massive global network using favorite tools and frameworks. In an Azure environment, everything is available and by means of which you can build your next great solution. You can obtain several benefits from Azure. Be ready for the future. Continuous innovation from Microsoft supports your development today and your production visions for tomorrow. Built on your terms. You have choices. With a commitment to open source and support for all languages and frameworks, you can build how you want to and deploy where you want to. Operate hybrid seamlessly on premises, in the cloud, and at the edge. We will meet you where you are. Integrate and manage your environments with tools and services designed for a hybrid cloud solution. Trust your cloud. Get security from the guard up, backed by a team of experts and proactive compliance trusted by enterprises, governments, and startups. It is possible to tackle the tough business challenge with the help of Azure services. In Azure environment, a massive global infrastructure is available to build a new application in accordance with your requirements, creativity, and favorite software development tools. Most commonly used categories of services are compute, networking, storage, mobile, databases, web, AI, big data, Internet of Things, IoT, and DevOps. Compute. These cloud services let you scale your computing capability on demand while only paying for what you use, and virtual machines as needed, or scale your company's app services for web and mobile apps. Example: Azure Virtual Machines, Azure Kubernetes Services. Networking. These features let you connect your cloud and on-premise infrastructure in order to bring the best possible experience to your customers. VPNs and load balancing are just two examples of these features. Storage. Whether it's disk, file, blob, or archival storage, these services let you scale your data and app storage needs in a secure fashion. Example: Azure Blob Storage, Azure File Storage. Mobile. With the mobile services, you can build and deploy cross-platform and native apps for any mobile device. Send notification, use Xamarin to build cloud-powered apps, and take advantage of cognitive services to make your apps smarter. Databases. Choose from a variety of proprietary and open source database engines to bring your current databases to the cloud. Use tools to manage your SQL, Cosmos DB, MySQL, and other data services. Web. These services help you build, deploy, manage, and scale your web application, create web apps, publish APIs to your services, or use Azure Maps to provide geospatial context to your data. Internet of Things. Use these features to connect, monitor, and manage all of the IoT assets. Analyze the data as it arrives from sensors and then take meaningful action with it. Big data. When you have large volumes of data, these open source clustered services will help you run analytics at a massive scale and make decisions based off of complex queries. DevOps brings together people, processes, and technology by automating software delivery to provide continuous value to your users. With Azure DevOps, you can create, build, and release pipelines that provide continuous integration, delivery, and deploy for your applications. These categories represent just a small fraction of what is available in Azure. Fortunately, it's easy to try out a new service, then mix and match them to get exactly what you need. The best part is you only pay for what you use. AI. Use your existing data to forecast future behaviors based on these AI trees. Use machine learning to build, train, and deploy models to the cloud. An Azure Accounts sits on an Azure Active Directory AD. It is just an email identity which allows you to access the resources linked with all subscriptions, linked with the Azure AD with proper permission. An Azure subscription is a base container that comprises a group of related business or technical resources. The group of resources are used to build together. An Azure subscription also acts as an administrative boundary. That means it allows the subscription administrator to access all resources within the subscription and delegate access through role-based access control mechanism. In order to use the Azure's cloud services, you must purchase an Azure subscription. An Azure subscription is tied to a single account, Azure Accounts. An Azure subscription which authenticates and authorizes the resources links with an Azure account. So we can say a subscription is nothing but an agreement between a cloud user, any organization, and a cloud service provider, Microsoft, to use resources which must be under an Azure account. An Azure accounts can have multiple subscriptions with different access management policies and different billing procedures. Azure Free Accounts. The Azure Free Account is an excellent way for new users to get started and explore. To sign up, you need a phone number, a credit card, and a Microsoft or GitHub account. The credit card information is used for identity verification only. You won't be charged for any services until you upgrade to a paid subscription. The Azure Free Student Account is an offer for students that gives $100 credit and free developer tools. Also, you can sign up without a credit card. At the last stage of this tutorial, I want to review the tutorial in terms of the following topics. Azure Services. The service, which is delivered by Microsoft Azure to customers, is called Azure Services, such as virtual machine is the compute service in cloud. Azure Accounts. Azure Accounts is an identity which allows you to access the resources linked with or subscription linked with Azure Active Directory AD with proper permission. Resources. The resource is nothing but an Azure service such as app service, Azure storage, Azure Active Directory, etc. It means whenever you create a new resource, you are actually creating an Azure service. Resource group. A Azure resource group is a collection of resources. The resource group is the container in which multiple Azure services reside. Subscriptions. Azure subscription is a base container that comprises a group of related business or technical resources. An Azure subscription which authenticates and authorizes the resources links with an Azure account. Thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope you all have been able to take the idea about Azure Fundamentals. If you think this tutorial is helpful for learning the Azure Cloud Computing, please click on the like button and request you all to share it more and more to the persons who are searching the tutorial like this. If you have any questions on this tutorial, opinions and queries about this channel, please type these in the comment box. You also mail to me. In the description box, email ID is given. Kindly subscribe this channel and click on the bell button so that you can get notification when new tutorial is published.